Okay.
Hello, and welcome to Homer for August 1st, 2025. Today, we will be reading from lines 616 down to 627. These are some fantastic lines in which we learn and witness the poet's love for detail in the Iliad. So thank you so much for being here with me today, and let's get into it. So spake he, and Patroclus gave ear to his dear comrade, and when running along the huts and the ships of the Achaeans. But when those others were come to the hut of the son of Neleus, they stepped forth upon the bounteous earth, and Eurymedon the squire loosed old Nestor's horses from the car, and the twain dried the sweat from their tunics, standing in the breeze by the shore of the sea, and thereafter they went into the hut and sate them down on to chairs. And for them fair-tressed Hecamede mixed a potion, she that old Nestor had taken from out of Tenedos, when Achilles sacked it, the daughter of great-haired Arsenarus. For the Achaeans had chosen her out for him, for that in council he was ever best of all. Great, let's do it in Greek. Hos photopatrokos depiloi epepe thetetaroi, be dethen para te klisias kai ne asakai yon. Hoi dote de klisien le iado afikan konto, autoi men rapebe sanapi chonapo luboteran. Hippus deure medon terapon luatoi ogerontos. Exocheron toi didro pepsukon tokitonon. Stante poti pnoien parathin halosar tarabeta. Es klisien ton tesapi klis moisi kathiston. Toisi de teo kekukei yoeu procamos hecamede. Ten aretek tenedoi yogeron hote persona kielaus. Tugatera sinouo megale toros hen hoia kai yoi. Excelon hua nekabua learisteo eskin hapanton. Awesome. So, I think the defining aspect of this passage is Tenedos. So, in the Iliadic world, when a woman is captured, she becomes, no matter how royal or regal she was, she becomes a slave. She becomes a sort of prize of war, that sort of thing. And I guess here, Hecamede, as her various, morphological details can be, she's serving Machaon and Nestor as they return in this chariot. And after they return on their chariot, so let's remember here, this is a very deadly battle. It's a very interesting and deadly battle, right? They get back, and the first thing they do is go to the ocean. They take a dip in the ocean, and then they dry themselves off in order to clean off the sweat from their clothes, right? Which is, if we recall, on the way back, the horses were sweating, right? So they also have sweat on their clothes, which is a sort of sense of unification between the beast and the man, right? And it's interesting to me that they take the time to do that. And then when they finally get into the house, they have this noblewoman, right, Hecamede, who may have been, I don't know if you guys remember back in, book 9, a list of the women that were claimed by Achilles, right? She may have been one of those. She may have been somebody else. It's not entirely clear, but surely from, Achilles is sort of, they're going around and plundering, right, these different cities. And she's about to prepare them this wonderful meal with this wonderful cup, right? Of course, we have the Nestor's cup from the 8th century BC, I believe, right, which is the oldest evidence of the Iliadic hero, right? So that's also very interesting. Yeah, there's this discontinuity between the battle and then the recreation, I guess. Oh, we're back in camp. Let's set out this great spread, the urgency, Patroclus runs over to the, to help Machaon, right? But Machaon and Nestor have been standing on the shore, like letting themselves dry off, right? I mean, that doesn't take like 5 seconds. It takes like kind of a bit, right? In order to like let your clothes dry off because, they've like gotten the salt out of them because they've been sweating so much. When's the last time you sweat so much that you needed to, dip in the ocean and let it dry off in order to get rid of all the salt? That's the level of exertion we're talking about here. Which leads me to the final thing that, I would like to mention, which is this word, puluboteron, right? So they get back and they arrive back on land, right? And the first thing they do when they're on land is they go to the water. This is not just significant for the elemental aspect of it, but also for the sense of departure. Once you're off of the chariot, you're back in the civilized world of, being these noble people who, they sort of like have this beautiful spread set up for them and they get taken care of. And as a final note, Hecamede will appear again in book 14, where she will also be taking care of Machaon, showing that at least that relationship was consistent between the two of them. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.